Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most devilishly interesting tidbits of information about Satanism.
I am complete!
Number 15. Satanism is an officially recognized religion in the United States. There isn't just an ideological belief set behind modern Satanism. Non-theistic organizations such as the Satanic Temple have succeeded in becoming officially recognized by the United States Internal Revenue Service.
Multiple releases, Satanic Temple reps say they got IRS approval and received 501c3 status. That's a government designation that basically means you're federally tax exempt.
This status has allowed the temple's spokesperson, Lucien Greaves, to enter the conversation when it comes to allowing alternative religious representation in schools. NBC News published an article in May of 2024 describing how the Satanic Temple is seeking to potentially install chaplains in states such as Texas and Florida.
The demonic-sounding group using this debate to push back on certain Christian ideals and its increasing overlap on public life.
If they pass these bills, they're going to have to contend with ministers of Satan acting as chaplains within their school districts.
These latter areas have set precedents in allowing religious spokespersons in public school, a precedent that the Satanic Temple would very much like to exploit.
And essentially what they're doing here is going up against Christian or conservative movements that are trying to upend or break through protections that are already in place, and the temple is working to highlight those inequalities even more so.
Number 14. Satanism and paganism aren't the same thing. The 1960s and 70s saw an influx of alternative religions and spiritual viewpoints.
Hail Satan!
Hail Satan! Satan is his father, and his name is Adrian. He shall overthrow the mighty and lay waste their temples.
Some of these would eventually fall under the banner of a New Age movement, yet the term paganism possesses a much longer history. Still, Satanism and paganism are often confused with one another, despite some rather notable differences.
So paganism is a term that gets thrown around a lot, and there's lots of different definitions of it.
Although Luciferian witchcraft is a darker and more occult-focused offshoot of Wiccan religions, the modern face of paganism, sometimes referred to as neo-paganism, tends to be more nature-focused. The term pagan also no longer means someone that isn't Christian, but rather an overarching umbrella of faiths that can be polytheistic or rooted in ancient cultural traditions.
The paganism that I follow treats the divine masculine and the divine feminine in an equal way.
Number 13. There are historical analogies to Promethean freedom figures. One shared aspect between both Satanism and paganism concerns considering Satan as similar to the Greek figure of Prometheus. This titan gifted man with fire and was punished with eternal torture.
Okay, so who is this guy? Best I can tell, Prometheus.
Seriously?
Yeah.
But didn't he steal fire or something?
Satanists often view Satan as a fallen angel who is frequently seen as a rebel, one who thumbs their noses at authority and lives independently with free thought, and he's punished by being banished from heaven. Russian mystic and occultist Helena Blavatsky spoke of Satan as a bringer of wisdom, similar to that old biblical serpent that tempted Eve with knowledge from the tree. Supernaturalists tend to take a view of Satan as a literal figure, whereas rationalists see him as a symbol, but there's a Promethean connection in either view. Number 12. Splinter groups have leaned into satanic scare methods. Organizations such as the Satanic Temple currently enjoy what's arguably the biggest public profile for commercial Satanism in recent history.
I think what attracted me most to Satanism was just, I think, how preposterous a lot of stuff that was coming from people who called themselves Christians.
That said, for every left-leaning socially progressive organization such as the Temple, there are other satanic splinter groups that lean into the term's sinister pedigree. Groups such as the Order of the Nine Angels approach Satanism in a more traditional sense, while also retaining the right-leaning politics that have seen the order labeled as a neo-Nazi hate group.
In recent years, it's grown in popularity thanks to an increase in far-right sentiment around the world. Still, the group is only believed to number a few thousand.
Members with ties to the O9A have committed or plotted acts of violence and terrorism in countries such as Sweden, Canada, and the United States.
There have been too many examples of individuals who've been radicalized by this material. These ideas can directly lead to violence.
Number 11. Christians historically cast a wide net with regards to devil worship. Just as the term pagan was once loosely utilized by Christians to typecast those of non-Abrahamic faiths, so too have the terms Satanist and devil worshiper been used interchangeably, and incorrectly.
I'm innocent, a witch. The devil knows that!
One need only look to the advent of witch-finding and sham trials to witness how a social panic can influence accusations of devilry or witchcraft.
What say you, Corey? More. Wait!
These accusations weren't limited to areas like Salem, however, since history has seen faiths both large and small, from Judaism to Paulicianism, being labeled as in league with Satan.
They swim. The mark of Satan is upon them.
The Catholic military order known as the Knights Templar even saw some of its members accused of ritual sacrifice and Luciferian behavior. Number 10. Stupidity is the cardinal sin of Satanism. Yes, there are 9 satanic sins, and being a moron is the biggest of them all. Not ignorance that can be cured with learning, but stupidity allows people to be manipulated and to do only as they are told.
The media promotes a cultivated stupidity as posture that is not only acceptable but laudable.
The subsequent sins on the list are quite pragmatic. Satanism also forbids pretentiousness, herd conformity, lack of perspective and aesthetics, and counterproductive pride.
The first word is important. Pride is great up to the point you begin to throw out the baby with the bathwater.
A lot of the church's principles are fairly aligned with the law and, to some degree, other religions. One major difference is they support the idea of lex talionis, or an eye for an eye. So whoever strikes you on your right cheek, you go ahead and smack them on their left cheek. That's the Satanists' way.
Eye for an eye. You want me to blind them?
Number 9. Manson and Satan. Just as the 60s and 70s fostered a new interest in the New Age, so too did Satan earn his flower power within the media. Films such as Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist did big dollars for the devil, and many were morbidly fixated upon the dark side of what they saw as hippie sexual liberation.
Welcome to our community.
Thanks for having me.
Susan Atkins was a notorious member of the Manson family, one of those involved in the Tate LaBianca murder.
I felt nothing. I felt absolutely nothing for her.
Atkins also possessed a connection to another notably dark figure from this period and Church of Satan founder, Anton LaVey. The future family member worked as an adult entertainer or nude witch for LaVey, in the latter's attempt to utilize sex as a selling point for Church of Satan enrollment.
There's a song I heard some time ago that one line says, "There is no sin that you could imagine that is greater than God's love to forgive."
Number 8. The Church of Satan was founded by a former Carny. Confucianism was founded by Confucius. Buddhism was founded by Buddha, and Satanism was founded by, nope, not Satan, but by Anton Szandor LaVey.
So I honestly feel occultism gives many people a chance to be big fish in little pond.
Details of his biography are often disputed or disproved, but supposedly he joined the Clyde Beatty circus as a teenager and soon became a lion tamer. His musical ability earned him a position playing the calliope and the organ for notable circus greats as he traveled around the Pacific coast. After leaving the circus, he developed an interest in occult and magic. He became a bit of a local celebrity in San Francisco for his occult lectures and rituals. Ultimately, in 1996, he founded the first official Church of Satan and was its leader until his death in 1997.
And the only way to rid oneself of carnal desires is to release them fully.
Number 7. Satanism, youth culture, and heavy metal. It's not uncommon for young people to seek out music that will deliberately annoy their parents. This generation gap is natural, as teenagers seek to differentiate themselves from expectation and tradition. That said, the rise of black metal music, specifically from countries like Norway, made headlines back in the 1990s with some reports of real murder and church arson.
When it comes to the media coverage of black metal in Norway, it's all started with the criminal cases. I mean, it didn't start with the music.
Some viewed it as a fully fledged movement, largely rooted in anti-Christian Satanism, and point to cases like heavy metal fan Ricky Casso's murder of his friend as resulting from it. Others dispute the extent of its influence. Black metal may have been spawned in the 1980s, but the scene as it exists today was reinvented a decade later, with a fresh coat of corpse paint. Number 6. Church of Satan has accepted all forms of sexuality since 1966. Our society still gets all shaken up when talking about sexuality in the military, churches, government, and other institutions, but not at the Church of Satan.
What goes on in the privacy of your own bedroom is between you and your lover.
Satanism doesn't discriminate against any sexual orientation or acts, as long as it's consensual between two adults, or however many adults are involved.
It has come to be. The 4 horsemen are drawing nigh. The time of prophecy is upon us.
I love when you get all biblical, Satan.
The religion values gratification and pleasure very highly, and doesn't believe in any absolute morality that might condemn one's sexuality. LaVey himself encouraged sexual exploration and expression, and so if one is transgender, gay, bisexual, lesbian, or asexual, the Church of Satan welcomes you with open arms. Number 5. The biggest holiday in Satanism is your birthday. What do we do on our birthdays? We make ourselves the center of attention, eat a big fat cake, get bombarded with gifts, and spend the whole day restaurant hopping for free birthday meals. Well, that's a core tenet of Satanism, self-indulgence.
What do we treat ourselves to?
Clothes.
Treat yourself.
Fragrances.
Treat yourself.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
Mimosas.
Treat yourself.
Fine leather goods.
Treat yourself.
Although Halloween is also important to Satanists, one's birthday is the most important day, since Satanism is a self-centered religion. The holiday doesn't require anything spectacular, as long as it's celebrated however the Satanist wants. If you find this revelation repulsive, just look back on your past birthdays and see how well you behaved.
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to.
Number 4. The Satanic Temple differs from the Church of Satan. The Satanic Temple and LaVey's Church of Satan aren't the only instances of those associated with modern Satanism shifting positions.
So within the Satanic community, there's a lot of discourse as to which organization is better, the Church of Satan or the Satanic Temple.
Former Church of Satan member Michael Aquino left behind the rationalist position of LaVeyan Satanism in favor of his newly founded Temple of Set.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go build my own theme park with blackjack and hookers.
This organization took a supernaturalist view of real occult worship, as opposed to the church's metaphorical satanic stance. LaVeyan Satanism is also, generally speaking, one of right-leaning libertarianism. The Satanic Temple, on the other hand, has openly endorsed causes of social justice and body reproductive rights advocacy in a manner that's comparatively more liberal.
As a Satanist, I believe that confronting injustice is an expression of one's satanic faith.
Number 3. Satan, from a certain point of view. It's easy, particularly with hindsight, to label LaVeyan Satanism as simply an orgiastic exercise in excess and indulgence.
I want it, I got it, yeah, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it.
There's a lot of truth to that, and Anton LaVey was showman enough to exploit that, as well as to allegedly get people like actress Jane Mansfield and entertainer Sammy Davis Jr. involved.
Can you come up right now?
Oh, honey, if I come up there now and Lucifer catches me, I'm gonna be in all kinds of trouble.
LaVey's text, the Satanic Bible, became popular and influential after its publication in 1969. It helped codify a satanic point of view, one that assisted in softening Old Scratch's reputation as a demonic opponent into something more sympathetic, even heroic.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you get my name.
This contemporary view of Satan felt linked to the poetic, Byronic portrayals of romance, while some of the Bible's essays outline the church's atheistic views of morality and behavior. Number 2. There was a satanic moral panic in the 1980s. The rise of heavy metal groups like Slayer and Bathory, combined with shock news pieces on tabletop games like Dungeons & Dragons, helped usher in the popular term Satanic Panic.
Much of what fueled the panic was not real. But these claims led to a wave of high-profile criminal trials in the US, Canada, and beyond.
This phenomenon peaked during the 1980s and was largely a conservative reaction to these aforementioned elements, specifically with regard to their perceived contribution to moral decay. This paranoia had some real-life casualties, however, as evidenced by the McMartin preschool trial and hysteria regarding the allegations of ritual satanic abuse in daycares across the country.
Wake up, America. This is your wake-up call.
Satanism had turned a corner, it seemed, as the generation that previously asked the question, "Is God dead?" now had kids of their own and were scared to death of the devil.
This strange period of moral hysteria serves as a reminder of what can happen when we abandon the pursuit of facts for a more sensational fiction. The question is, have we learned our lesson?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. There is no Satan in Satanism. You're probably scratching your head with this one. According to the Satanic Bible written by LaVey, the Church of Satan is atheistic.
And there are lots of misconceptions, but this is probably the most common one, is that if you're Satanist, you obviously worship Satan.
To a true Satanist, the idea of a god or a devil is pure fiction. Satan is used as a metaphor, a symbolic paragon of enlightenment, hedonism, wisdom, individualism, and liberty. LaVey discouraged the worship of Satan as a deity, though Satan is an appropriate symbol for the church as he represents non-conformity and rebellion, especially against the Abrahamic religions, which LaVey saw as irrational. The church sees no real connection between Satan and the number 666, though they enjoy using it to mock superstitious Christians. And to those looking to sell their soul to the devil, the church says, if you want something out of life, get off your lazy butt and work for it.
Son, if you really want something in this life, you have to work for it.
Now quiet, they're about to announce the lottery number.
Do you feel that interest in the occult has increased over recent years? Let us know in the comments. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.